Well, good morning everybody. Another little video from me, and I just thought I'd give you a little update. We're into the second Windows project, or the second project to reinstall Jenny J's Windows. It's a frosty 31st of December, and I'm on my way to collect them. They've been restored, I'm assured, by Jean-Pierre. Okay, so this is what I got back from Jean-Pierre. Obviously, this is just one of the windows. I thought I'd give it a little look over it and see. We can see in some detail what he's done. Obviously, it's an old window frame, and he has definitely done his best to polish it up and make it look an awful lot better than it was. And I've noticed here where there was actual corrosion, the anodization has inevitably come off, but he has polished it, and I think he's probably done some work to kind of keep the weather off it. I think it's actually got some sort of extra protection on it as well, but I will obviously have to keep an eye on that over the years to come. The new perspex is in place, and sensibly he's left as much of the protective cover on both sides. He told me also that this is Sikaflex of one description or another. I'm not quite sure which one it is, but he assures me something that will last many years, that he's used to actually bed the perspex in. And if we kind of turn it over, see on the back he's left that protective cover on. Everything's really cleaned up. These grooves which bite into the adhesive are obviously nice and clean now as well. Looks like he's put brand new screws in, having reassembled the whole thing. So detail on the inside is really good, and obviously the inside aluminium facing is lovely and clean as well. So it's looking like a really nice job. And I don't know whether you would recall seeing it, but these windows were blue, and I think I'm going to mention I've asked him to replace it with a bronze tint which matches the hatches. And for me, I think it just gives a warmer light inside the boat when it's obviously on the water and you're inside. So I did feel that would be a nicer look. But yeah, so not perfect, these old frames, but he's done a pretty good job of cleaning them up. And there's not a lot you can do with an anodized aluminium. It's incredibly tough, but an incredibly thin coating. And you can see this is where it would have corroded away, and also where the screw holes were as well. Here we have got some tape. This is the stuff that's going to be used to bed the new frame, or the refreshed frame, back onto the boat. He's given me a brand new set of screws. He asked me whether I wanted the crosshead ones or the old flathead ones. And lastly, some plastic polish. I think that's to keep the perspex clean. Get that. And that's come with a set. So this I've got one of these for each window. This is incredibly sticky stuff, and obviously it's got it's effectively a kind of a foam rubber, and I suppose it works very well. It's what he's recommended. He is very knowledgeable about this stuff, so I'm taking it on trust that that's the right thing to use. Well, I'm just cleaning up the inner parts of the window frames here, and the sections that are going to be visible, obviously the top edge here, and obviously the inside flat edge as well. The windows themselves are kind of in this area here, so they're inside this, so we don't see this part of it. You only see that this kind of cutout bit on the on the actual window section itself, which comes inside this, so these are hidden. So it needs cleaning up. I need to make sure that there's no kind of deposits left inside the frame. You can see there's some kind of calcified parts here that I've just got to try and just clean those off as best I can. It's really difficult. It doesn't seem to get it particularly perfect, but I get it pretty good. I've got some basically white vinegar here. I mean, ideally you'd kind of soak this for several days, I think, but that ain't going to happen. To soak something this size, I'm not sure that somebody may be able to do that, but I'm just, giving it a rub with something kind of abrasive up to a point, but not, obviously you don't want to use metal on this or anything really abrasive. So I'm just cleaning it as best I can, really. Hi everybody. So yeah, after a longer period of time than I had anticipated, I'm going to start putting the windows back in. They've been renovated. They are looking really good. Here's the first one, which will go back in here, and protective film, etc. As I've mentioned earlier on, it's ready to go back in. I have got to take obviously the panel out here now. It's a blustery day, and so yeah, I will get on with it and explain what I'm doing as I go. The whole thing's remained completely dry. Been getting water in the bilges, but that's not from the windows. It's from, I think it's from, well, it's something else. Could be a number of different things, but that's a different story. Right. I can see where water has got as far as here, sat on the seam, but nothing has got inside. Okay, so the next step is to really clean off the remainder of this old mastic, and I've been instructed to use a bit of, now where is it? Oh yeah. Some of this compound to just clean on the outside here and make sure it's really, really clean, the gel coat, before I apply the tape. This is the tape which will go on the outside. It's certainly a windy old day. Okay, so I've got the window just loosely put in, and it moves around a little bit, which is expected. Now all the old mastic is out. Okay, so I'm marking the window. So backwards and forwards a little bit with this. I've got these screw holes really lined up. I'm just going to make sure the screws, obviously there's nothing on the inside. I'm just lining the window up so that it's absolutely lined up with the screw holes in the gel coat. So that when I mark it with with a pencil. Everything's good. I'm going to mark around with a pencil, and when I take this back off I can see exactly where, that's it, I can see exactly where I've got to put the tape. It's got to obviously go inside this by a few mil. I was a bit worried at this end that there's quite a big gap here on the inside, but actually there's a lot of space for the tape to seal really well. That's obviously pretty important. So I'm fixing the foam tape now to the outside of the coach roof. I've kind of speeded the video up. And going around the curve, I've got to take the protective tape off the back of the foam tape itself, because the protective tape is inflexible and doesn't allow the foam to kind of bend properly. So cutting it so that I can take it round that curve nice and smoothly. That I can leave it on for the straights. Now this bit is quite critical. So where the corners and the joins are, I've got to kind of create a, almost like a jigsaw cutout, so that any water coming down from above can't seep into the crack. So it's kind of only able to go uphill, if you like, which it isn't going to do very easily. And once the whole thing is compressed, it squeezes the joint together as well, so the whole thing becomes really watertight. So the reason I'm doing this voiceover in the video rather than actually talking on camera is because my microphone ran out of power. So I'm doing this after the fact. So also cutting a neat joint again, so that any water can't climb up into this join. It's just a kind of cut. I'm not showing it on camera here, but it's just to make it. It's just kind of common sense, so that water flows down the front, the top of the front, and doesn't climb up inside the join that I'm cutting there. Pretty straightforward, really. So I've cut it within the pencil line, so it's just fitting it as precisely as I can, squeezing the joints in, so cutting it, trying to cut it, these cutouts a little bit small, so that everything has to be compressed in as it all gets pushed in by the window when it's screwed down. You can see the shape of the cutout there, so that water will have a real problem getting past that. Remove the backing tape, and the back of the foam has actually got no adhesive on it. And the aperture that was left by the foam there is quite smaller than the window frame, so I really had to push it in, but the tape is so sticky that there was no issue with forcing the window frame into the rather smaller gap. So you can see it's being pushed down. Tape's being pushed down into the aperture, but it's absolutely fine. It's not moving at all on the coach roof. And now, you know, I'm looking to line up the screws. Everything should be lined up properly now. I've got to put the screws in initially to connect up with the inner frame. So I'm screwing those directly through the foam, so it will be a tight, watertight fit. So these screws are, as I say, just going to be really initially just to line up with the holes on the inner frame when I put that up against the back of this window frame. Okay, so let's see if we can hang this. Now we've got a few screws just poking through here, and the let's see if we can get that up. It's whether I've got the screws really lined up. Kind of looking vaguely promising and vaguely right. It's terribly messy. Get those screws in there to bite. Let's see. Well, that felt very promising. In fact, I am 99% sure that those have taken hold very nicely, and I'll gradually bring the other ones along, draw the ends in so it's slightly curved, so that should be good. there we are. I've got it in, I've got it fitted. It's looking good on the outside, it's looking good here on the inside, and yeah, I'm pretty chuffed. And as probably expected, you know, it's taken quite a while to do this first one, bring it back in. I've got the rest to do. I think I will hopefully be able to do them more quickly, each one as I get better at doing it. But it's not quite as difficult as I had thought. The tape went on really well, and I'm, you know, confident that the way it kind of had to push the window into it, kind of sealed everything up even more. And yeah, it's looking fine. It's looking fine. I can take the inner. I'll leave the outside one on for a bit more protection until the spring, maybe. Well, I'll see how I go. Anyway, I'm going to see put the tarpaulin back over, because obviously it's still partly protecting the other windows. You know, this area, I don't want to get any more water on top of that. Okay, so there we are. That's it for today.